Hi, it's Alex Counts again. I've struggled to find the right place in my home to record these videos, but I figured I'd try something new. I'd record it in front of one of my favorite posters of Martin Luther King Jr. Part of the poster you can't see is where a quote of his, and it says, "If a man hasn't found something he's willing to die for, he isn't fit to live." I always love that because it really reflects the commitment in people that are working for social change and nonprofits of various types. They often care so much about it, they'd literally give their lives. And one of the things about this poster is that I got it when I was in college. I've had it either my office or my home since I bought it, really. And I just noticed how much it was a very meaningful symbol of my respect for him and for African Americans, that I had quite a number of people, classmates at Cornell, to our housekeeper in New York City, who would see that I would display this and were so moved that I would do so from someone from another race. And it just goes to show you, when you're putting together your office as a nonprofit leader, just little things of what you display can really build bridges or ultimately perhaps burn bridges. But this was a bridge builder for sure. Anyway, I'm going to be taking a break from doing these videos until the early next year, unless I get inspired to do another one between now and December 31st. Thank you for being part of this. I'm going to be talking about part 2 of senior leadership teams in a moment, but I would welcome you to send me ideas of things you'd like me to talk about. Again, I can only talk about things that I think I have some expertise in. Some of the areas that I went into in my book, When in Doubt, Ask for More. I think there's 7 or 8 areas where I feel I developed some expertise. But send me suggestions. If I have something to say, maybe I'll record a video, and thank you for it. So getting back to the senior leadership teams. In the last video, I talked about some pitfalls and why some leaders don't form senior leadership teams or don't use them really well. And one thing I wanted to emphasize, I think I mentioned that it's not usually good to have 2 people who report to each other part of your senior leadership team. And the reason, because I don't think I gave the reason, is that the leader of that group should really represent their views to the larger leadership team. And if someone that reports to them who might have a different opinion gets to express that different opinion to senior leaders as a peer, it kind of makes that whole relationship a little uncomfortable. So unless there's a very good reason, don't have people who report to each other both be on your leadership team. In general, and then you think about who should be on the leadership team, I think in general it should be people who report to you, except for purely administrative staff like your executive assistant or secretary. There might be good reasons to include people who aren't your direct reports, or good reasons to not include people who are, but in general I think that's a pretty good rule. So let's talk about the agenda for your meetings. First of all, I think senior leadership teams probably should meet 2 to 4 times per month. And depending on how often, you might adjust the amount of time. And then you want to have, sometimes you get together for maybe a whole day or a day and a half, maybe once or twice a year, and supplement that by one-on-one meetings with each one on your leadership team, and then sometimes meet with people who report to them one-on-one to get their view of the organization. And when you think about what do you do in this time together, first of all, I think it's good to in general have a kind of a familiar framework. You go through certain topics in certain ways that people know what's coming, but also have some open, unstructured time, or change your agenda every so often. Have an agenda item which is how can we make our meetings better, and then change as a result. So have it be somewhat predictable, but also not inflexible. Leave some time for people to talk about their personal lives, maybe at the beginning or the end of meeting, just so you can establish that kind of relationship. It's not all business. In general, try to think about how you can make this a meeting that people don't dread, that they look forward to. We all, I think, come up with people and meetings and groups that we look forward to, and others that we dread. And just have this one be something they look forward to, so they come in an open posture, a hopeful posture most of the time, not a posture of how can this be over. Sometimes you'll want to invite guests, other staff to present, maybe be present for a large part of the meeting, but still make it clear who's in and who's out. Don't have a kind of rotating cast, but bring in other people to present in their area of expertise to the group. Can be very powerful. Maybe someone you might see as a senior leader in the future. Take a lot of time to express appreciation to people in the group, one-on-one, but also at the group level. Someone makes a good presentation, someone has an achievement, gives a good speech the week before. Raise it as something just to celebrate the group. Let your senior leadership represent your organization externally, especially those that really want to do that. Some don't, and you may want to give them other perks. But for those, don't hog the spotlight yourself as the leader if you are the leader. And also let them be your emissaries, your ambassadors within the organization, to policies that are you're deciding. And if they really back you, if you treat them well, even if they don't entirely agree with the policy, they'll bring it out. They'll explain to people. They'll ask people to give it approach it with an open mind, even if it's controversial. And in general, and the way that you do that, because it's really tricky how you get your senior leadership to back a policy or a decision that they don't entirely support, is make sure that they have the ability to express dissent, make their case for something else. And even if it doesn't carry the day, they felt that they had their say, and they see if they could bring along others. Even if their views don't win out in the end, they're going to be more supportive. So a senior leadership team can be one of your just most exciting parts of your job. People that believe in you, you think they're the best people in your organization, the most senior, and they're going to help you succeed and help your organization succeed and pick you up really when you're down, when you've made a mistake, when you've had a setback as an organization or as a professional. These are the people that are going to be there for you if you invest in them as a team and as individual leaders in your organization. So good luck. Let me know what you think, and I'll be back with some more videos after the first of the year.